I want to keep my cardiovascular system healthy, okay? I've already got videos on that. You really only have to do so many minutes of heavy cardiovascular work, or moderate cardiovascular work for that matter, but you've got to double the time before you really can't do anything to improve your cardiovascular health, okay? You can look that up too. It's in one of my old videos, find it. So people go around and they keep doing all these unnecessary damn exercises thinking that it's going to make them bigger and stronger, when in all actuality, it's just going to hinder your progress. I'm going to touch on lunges. Now look, if you're doing lunges, great. Nothing that I say is telling you your exercise is shit. Don't misunderstand me. Everybody has different goals, okay? I know everybody nowadays gets offended, all right? But sometimes you're just going to have to buck up and just try to understand what I'm trying to get across, okay? Or you're just going to have to be offended. It's like I heard an old man say one time. His wife was bitching at him or something. She was pissed at him about something. I said, well, what are you going to do about it? And he said, well, I ain't going to do nothing about it. She'll either get over it or die with it on her mind. And I've remembered that ever since, you know. And that's just what people are going to have to do. They're going to have to get over it or die with it on their mind if you're going to be offended all the time. So let's do lunges. All right, so I'm going to sit here and do lunges, all right? And I'm not warm at all. And I did squats yesterday. All right? All right, so I'm lunging, right? I'm working my quads. You can do walking lunges. You can have dumbbells when you do it. You can do all kinds of lunges, okay? I see people doing this all the time. They'll take their foot and they'll put it up here, and I'm not even going to attempt it. And they'll be doing lunges like that. That's an ass kicker. You can get one hell of a burn like that. If you're untrained, that will make you stronger for a while. For a while. Riding a bicycle will make you stronger for a while. Okay? But pretty soon your body's going to get accustomed to that. All right? And you can add weights to it, make it harder. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, crazy crap like this right here puts weird pressures on your knees. Okay? Weird pressures. That can't be good on your knees. All right? You may do them your whole life and never have knee problems, but I see people all the time in these videos popping their knees out of joints by doing all kind of weird crap, like leg extensions. Those are hellaciously good on your quads. They really isolate them and give them a lot of stress and a lot of growth. Man, my knees hurt for 3 or 4 weeks on the last leg extensions that I did. There comes a time when you get to a certain strength that you need to use a certain amount of weight, and you just can't compromise your joints in all these weird ass positions. You know, when you're squatting 500 pounds and all that kind of crap, what kind of lunges am I going to do to actually stimulate growth? Am I going to walk around with a heavy weight on my shoulder and just walk around lunging all day? Hell no, I'm going to get under the damn squat rack and squat. So what I was telling Garrett is this: if you're just trying to get stronger, go squat, okay? Go deadlift, go overhead press, go bench press. If you want to get your legs and hips and glutes stronger, and pretty much everything else, but we're going to concentrate on that, and you want to do that with all these odd exercises, but you're also going to squat, just squat. Squat heavy, squat intelligently, make sure your form is good. And if you go as intensely as you need to in order to stimulate growth, all these other exercises that you're doing for your legs are a moot point. Unless you're going for some kind of conditioning or anything like that, maybe calf raises would be good, you know, because I've never done any calf work. Not really. I mean, when I was younger, I did. And I'm not saying I've got the best calves in the world. You know, I've never really done any calf work. Not much. And when I deadlift, when I squat, when I work my legs and lower body, they just grow. Like they have to grow. Squats can make your biceps bigger. Did you know that? They can. Because your body's just not going to grow in that one spot. Yes, the majority of the growth is going to be there, but your body grows as an entire organism. That's why doing deadlifts or squats can make you look bigger and stronger as a person. Okay? I'm not saying you can't do all these other exercises if you want to, but the more exercises that you do for a particular area, the more reserve you're using. Think about a flat bench press. You get somebody under a flat bench, all right, and they give it hell, and they give it 3 good heavy sets, all right, and they go heavy on first, heavy on the second one, and then on that third one, they give it everything they got. You know, they go to failure between 5 and 10 reps, and the reps is not as important as people think they are. I mean, yes, there's a vast difference between 20 reps and 5 reps, but, you know, if you're going between 5 and 10, don't sweat it too much. Add weight next time if you get too high in the rep ranges, if you're looking for strength, okay? That's just the way that it is. Now, I said, so you get down there on the flat bench and you really worked your ass off on that flat bench. All right, and then I see people run over to the incline bench and they're like, oh, it's time to incline. What are you doing? What are you doing? Well, I'm working the top on my pec. Okay, first off, your whole pec's gonna grow together. Okay, it is. Now, can you skew the results from one certain pec to the other? You probably can, but that's more for bodybuilding, really. Okay? And you're like, you don't know what you're talking about. Hear me out. All I'm saying is this. If you gave it hell on the flat bench and you need a certain amount of strength and energy to break your muscles down and to stimulate a growth response, why would you immediately go to an incline and try to duplicate the exact same thing with 3/4 less energy and 3/4 less strength in that particular muscle area? Why? Why would you expect to get that result? You've already stimulated growth. If you've stimulated growth here, you've stimulated it in your upper pec and in your lower pec. You have. All right? You have. It's like I was listening to Lee Priest the other day, and he's like, oh, these people want to isolate this and isolate that. And they're like, yeah, I want to work this one abdominal muscle and not work this one. You know, he thought it was hilarious. It's like when you work them, you work them. Okay? People get too caught up in that. That's more for bodybuilding. It's not for strength training. Okay? Even power building doesn't need to be concentrated on in that kind of manner that deeply. All right. So I said, so when you go over there to the incline bench press, how much good are you going to do yourself? So you don't have any energy. You don't have any strength. You've broken down all your muscles for that group, right? He's like, yeah. All right. You've killed your pecs. Okay. The only thing you're really going to have any kind of probably strength left in would probably be your triceps and your shoulders, your front delts or whatever. I told him, I said, a good idea would be this. Go do dips. Okay, dips are the single best upper body exercise you can do. Okay, it's better than bench press. It's better than overhead press. It's better than any row. A dip or a weighted dip, because there's some people who can just crank out 100 dips, works your core. It works your triceps like crazy. It works the hell out of your chest and your shoulders. All right, and you have to stabilize with your back. It is the single best exercise for your upper body that there is. If I only had to do one upper body exercise, it would be the dip. Okay? Luckily, we don't live in a world like that, so I can do all kinds of other stuff. And I can hear somebody saying now, why would you encourage him to go do dips as a secondary accessory exercise, whatever, and not incline bench? Because there's just way too damn much overlap with the incline bench. Way too much. Way too much. Also, you can do more weight in the decline position. Everybody knows that. Your incline's your weakest, the flat bench is in the middle, and a decline is the strongest. And with a dip, it mimicking a decline position, think about that, puts you in your strongest, most advantageous position to follow through with the rest of your chest workout, if you do need further stimulation, and completely kill your triceps and use a bunch of shoulder work too. Okay? If you really want to look swole as shit, and I'm getting on to the bodybuilding side of it, or power building or whatever, go kick out about 3 good sets of dips after a bench press. You don't even need 3 sets really, just 2 good intense ones. Take your last set to failure. Okay? Buddy, a good set of dips will make you look great. Make you feel good too. Onward. And another thing, I see this guy, we might have to make a part 2 to this. So I see this guy on the internet, this all big ripped up bodybuilder looking guy. And He's like, well, this is how you get big shoulder caps. I'm gonna show you how to get shoulder caps. So he starts lifting this and that. He's doing this kind of work. He'll turn his wrist over and he'll do that kind of work. I'm like, dude, why don't you just do a damn shoulder press? What are you doing here? You're teaching these kids who don't even, and I'm not saying the guy's wrong. Listen, I'm not saying the guy's wrong. And I'm not saying these exercises won't work. But what I do know for a fact is this. Somebody's got to keep you coming back for more information and more information. If they actually just looked at you and said, hey, it's really not all that complicated. You could really create a Herculean physique with about 12 different exercises and you'd be good. Well, would you ever really need to keep coming back? Would you ever really need to keep buying their bullshit? No. All right? No. So they got to tell you, well, there's so many different new ways. There's no new ways.